It is unlikely that Roy Moore is in legal danger. The allegations of sexual abuse are 40 years old, but does that mean he should stay in the Alabama Senate race? Let's discuss now. Joe Madison, host of the Joe Madison Show on SirusXM, and syndicated talk radio host John Fredericks. Here we go. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Joe, you just heard the piece, Miguel Marquez's story. It was right before the break. President Trump had no problem believing the Bill Clinton accusers, but when it comes to his reporting, to this reporting on Roy Moore, there's a caveat, if true. Why are these allegations treated differently, you think?
Well, I think it's because it's politics. Let's just be straightforward to answer your question. It's politics. And I will tell you this. I think people better be very careful, because I had a prosecutor call my show early this morning, and she said that this young lady, and probably others, can probably tell you what his house looked like, maybe what his underwear would look like, what he was wearing, how he smelled, certain body marks. And this is why I think people tend to believe her. Mm-hmm. And this argument that it happened so long ago, we forget that some young boys, when the incidents with the Catholic Church started to come to the forefront, some of these young boys were 6 years old. It didn't come out until they were middle age. Mm-hmm. But it's politics. I think that's exactly what you're seeing.
John, there are two camps here in the GOP. There are the folks who are saying if he did it, he should step aside. And in the other camp, the people like John McCain and Mitt Romney who say he needs to step aside, full stop. Which camp are you in?
Well, Don, we have a process in this country that you're not guilty until proven innocent. This is a very sad situation. So I'm in the camp of let's wait and see. Now, this is interesting, Don and Joe. The statute of limitations has run out, so there's no legal prosecution or legal case against Judge Moore if indeed these allegations are true. But it's going to be litigated in the state of Alabama with Alabama voters in 4 weeks. The evidence is going to continue to trickle out between now and then, and voters of Alabama are going to decide if he's innocent or not by the way they show up to the polls in 4 weeks. So that's going to be interesting. But you got to be very careful here, because two things bothered me about this, if I can expound on them.
Hey, John, can I just say something? Because I don't want you to complain like you did last time that I didn't give you enough time. You've gone on a long time, and the longer you go on, the less time we'll get to ask more questions. So just so you know.
Go ahead and ask go ahead and ask Don whatever you.
Okay. So here's the thing, and you said innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
And Mitt Romney said, innocent until proven guilty in the criminal convictions, not elections. He says, I believe Lee Corfman. Her account is too serious to ignore. Moore is unfit for office and should step aside. You don't think he should step aside?
No, I don't think he should step aside, because it's his word against her word, and these are allegations. Okay. The timing of this is very suspicious. You know, the other thing is here, you know, the Washington Post waited to break the story until 2 days after he couldn't be replaced on the ballot. That's something that Washington Post readers and subscribers are going to have to decide what the legitimacy of this is.
Don't you think if they were trying to get him out of the race, don't you think they would have done it when they could have?
That's not why. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's not why they waited. It was a matter of getting these young ladies to come on record. They didn't wait for this as if they were somehow in cahoots with the timing on this. And I think the problem is not only going to be Judge Moore, but the problem is going to be the morality of the Republican Party. That's what my listeners are saying. And that is that this isn't a question of timing. This is a question of whether this man at the age of 32 as a prosecutor was a predator. And that's really what he's going to be judged on.
John, I got 10 seconds.
But Joe, he's denied this. I mean, you just can't indict somebody and be judge, jury, and executioner. Yeah. He's denied it.
Most predators, the priest denied it. Hester denied it. Most predators initially do deny it.
Yeah.
So
Thank
now
you
we're
both.
going to a process where somebody gives an allegation and they're immediately pronounced guilty by the media. I think that's pretty dangerous. It could happen to any three of us here right now.
You guys didn't
Bad
think
idea.
that when you didn't think that when Bill Cosby was being in the media and a lot of other people. So
you
let's be
both.
careful.
We got to go. When we come back, tomorrow is Veterans Day. An American hero will join me with his story, one so powerful it was made into a movie.